gals. Today I'll be talking about the movie House of Death, aka Death Screams. And this is one of those old school slasher movies from the early 80s, of course. All in all, you know what? I actually enjoyed this movie. It wasn't bad or nothing, but to me it wasn't bad or nothing. Let me just rephrase that. But the movie's pretty much, and I always say this every time I see the old school slasher movies because it's always the same ones. you know, if you think about it. But like I said, you end up enjoying it. The movie's about a bunch of young adults. At the end of the summer, they're enjoying life. Going to a carnival around their town. You have different cast of characters. Your typical slasher characters in slasher movies. You got the good-looking guys. You got one guy that's not so good-looking, but he's like the jokester. You got hot girls. You got one guy that's a tall slut. And and you got the one sweet innocent girl. The sweet innocent one. And the movie begins with two people dying. And after that, you got the sheriff and one guy who owns a market in the start of the movie looking for one of the workers. You find out he's missing, which is pretty much the two first victims in the beginning of the movie. Like I said, that's what the movie's about, pretty much. Cast of young adults, living life. And mysteriously people are dying by a machete wielding killer. But of course, like any other movie, you wonder who the killer is, right? Well, I won't spoil the killer for you, but I'll spoil the plot for you of the killer. So till then, you're gonna hear the plot of the killer. I won't tell you if it's a man or woman. I'll let you guess on that one. So as the movie progresses, and people dying, and there are death scenes in the movie, but you see some deaths in the movie, like actual kill scenes, like a little bit of blood and gore, like one guy gets his hands cut off, and you'll see a scene when his hands come out, when his hand cut off by a machete. But the movie will drag a little bit more with the story and people talking, pretty much having fun. And once the young adults go to the final place, like when it gets towards the movie, like bonfire, and then they move on to the cemetery to tell scary ghost stories, and then they went into the house. That's where you finally have the House of Death. The House of Death, they got killed in the house until towards the end of the fucking movie when they got inside the house, when that's really going on more. And and you got people that's in the house, and they say when they try to play prank on one of their friends, they saw him dead in the off house bathroom, and they say, okay, we gotta go get the car. Two of the members walk outside the house, and those about a horror movie, you should stick together, but no. A few of them leave the house, they end up dying, and then the killers go for the rest of the survivors in the house, and they start running upstairs, and then the killer comes out, and you find out that the killer has an origin that when the killer was young, he saw these women sleeping with guys for money, pretty much, and that was the killer's motive. The killer's women are sluts, pretty much, and even the killer killed guys too, not just women but guys too. But overall, the House of Death, I enjoyed it for what it was, a slasher craze movie type of thing, and the kill scenes were pretty enjoyable to watch. It's not like Friday the 13th kill scenes like explosive in every franchise, but it gets to the point. Alright, peace guys.